We are live.
All
right, we're live on Facebook too.
You guys see that rabbit? Did you see that little video?
I saw the rabbit.
He showed up about a week ago, and I had
Christy found it first, right?
No.
We got one thumbs up. We got one person live in here right now.
I was just walking through the yard, and it was sitting there. So
live on
then
Facebook.
I noticed the next day it's under my trailer. So I started bringing the food, and I just put it next to it. And then now the last 4 days, as soon as I get near the trailer, it bolts out, waits for me to give it food. I can pet it now, and it just goes back under the trailer. I don't know where it sleeps at night, but it's all day long it's under the trailer.
What time you got?
Live round table.
4:26.
We can get started.
All right, 4 minutes.
You want to get started?
4 minutes, Dougie, finish your on.
We can get started. Let's get started.
Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook, and I'm on. Guys, it's gonna be real hard to read the comments on YouTube because we don't. We have it all set up through the computer with the webcam. So if you need to ask questions, you can actually go both. I'm live on Facebook at Noah Holland on my just main channel.
Xavier says the chat's off.
Oh, chat's off on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I ain't seen it.
Chat is off on YouTube.
Thanks, Xavier. We'll
Thank
go
you.
fix that.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Know
you.
how to do this, so.
We're figuring
You
it
got
out.
it. Learn it. Check.
Learn as we go.
Check 1, 2.
The chat's probably 60 seconds. That's why
What do you mean?
it's got to be live for 60
Don't worry,
seconds.
Noah's got spaghetti on him.
I'll take 60 seconds to check.
Yeah, but it's been on longer than that.
Yeah, for a minute or so. Yeah, so we're good.
So they weren't able to hear it.
No, they couldn't say anything back.
Oh.
They couldn't comment.
I think someone gave me a middle finger.
Already?
What do you guys see on it?
We're
I have to
Well,
go.
right now we're going on here.
We're going to go live just
I mean,
straight from
comments.
Facebook as well.
Okay.
So do us a favor and drop the questions and stuff in on Facebook because we'll be able to pull that
Check
up.
this. I'll get it going.
It's our first run. It's our first run here.
So are you on Facebook now? On your wall or?
Yeah.
And then they can't ask questions on YouTube or whatever.
No,
That's what Xavier's
it's off
saying.
on YouTube.
No, he said that the chat was turned off. He didn't
All
say
right, so
that's
here we
fine.
go.
So now you see it on there.
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody send a
phone
question or a
number,
message
yeah.
or hello?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
Facebook.
Can we see somebody
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got 4 people looking.
Okay, but they can see. Is anybody can say anything?
No.
Also the
On
chat is
Facebook?
still on?
No. They can, but no one said anything.
No, ask somebody to.
Yeah. Whoever's watching, send us
Just-
something on Facebook just so we can
Since
say
if
what's
we're
up. Say what's up or
see if we're running right.
See if somebody can ask a question or say hello, whatever.
tell them Noah's your favorite or
So
whatever.
that'll come up on here.
Mm-hmm. It's a little delayed.
It will be delayed because they're watching it. We're live and they're watching it. It'll be a little delayed. It's not spot on.
We got
No, I didn't know that.
Yep.
we got 2
Here we
minutes.
go. Here it goes. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Cool.
Okay.
What's up? What
We're in
up?
the house. Anthony's in.
Anthony, what's going on?
What up, big boy?
What's happening?
Noah's my favorite.
Yes.
No, how much did you pay that girl?
When that's
My
my
boy?
I don't call my dude a girl.
How much did you pay
That's
him
my
to
boy
say that?
Nate Fryer. What up,
Man,
Nate?
that's
What up, Nate? It's my boy.
All
All
right.
right, we'll get it started.
Showtime.
This is the Retic Roundtable. This is the first episode we're truly running here. And we're just going to jump in straight away with getting to know who's around this table right now. So I'm going to start it out with the Nick.
Nick Lammers, Sal Daddy Retics. Hello.
Cough it up, dude.
Yeah.
Cough it up. Let
Keith
it out.
Stambaugh,
Let it
Titan
out.
Retic. Noah, Jim's over talking to me, so it's Keith Stambaugh, Titan Retic, and glad to be on here and see how this goes.
For sure. Noah Holland, Titan Retics. Glad to be here as well. It's going to be a fun time with some of my best friends. So
Sal did Retic. Gonna have a blast. Hope you guys enjoy.
Jim, Paragon, with my boys. We're going to have some fun. Grab a beer, drink up. It might be a long one, guys. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
So we'll start out something simple. Let's just go based off of kind of where were you born, where were you raised? Something small.
Me, Illinois. Had Retics for a while. probably about 12 years, but I've had snakes since I was like, what,
Since you could catch
35
them.
years.
Yeah, since you could catch them.
So
Since my mom caught them in my briefcase in my closet.
There you go. So Illinois is kind of what's the native? What were you catching around?
Garden snakes, green grass snakes, bull snakes. Not very much bull snakes, but garden snakes and green grass snakes.
Cool. What you, Keith?
Been around animals for almost as long as I've been able to walk. Grew up in Lakeside Park, Kentucky. Lakeside Park is called Lakeside because of all the lakes. Catch everything, bring it home. Been actively involved in big animals, specifically started off with boas and Burmese back in the 70s, and been breeding. Actually, my first clutch was 1991. Pretty neat how that worked out. Used a 30-gallon aquarium and cookie sheets because I couldn't fill the eggs, and doesn't work so well. So word of the wise, don't do that. But it did. They did hatch. It did work. But I don't do that method anymore. And like Nick, I had a lot of stuff at the house that was unknown to the parents until it was known, and things weren't so smooth when that happened.
No.
But nonetheless, they didn't make me get rid of everything, but the garage became my place of storage for a lot of stuff.
Grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, catching anything I could possibly catch, going down to the creeks, turtles, fish. I mean, I was bringing on big snapping turtles. I would wrap in my sweatshirts and walk across the railroad tracks with them when I was a little kid. Had one big enough I put in a outside dog kennel with a pool, fed it everything. My dad, real nervous of reptiles and snakes, he was, and he released it, but I was catching everything, and I guess it really took off when I moved to the basement. My parents didn't really go to the basement much, and I loaded the basement up. Snakes, tanks. I actually shorted the electric in my basement. That's how my parents found out. That's how my parents found out.
Hey, he told me that.
That's how my parents found out all I had, and then got into retics and stumbled across Keith my junior year in high school, 2011, and been with retics ever since.
A lot of help back then too. He drove over an hour each way to come help.
Uphill.
Without pay, it was just uphill both ways. Yeah, all the time.
Well, he stumbled on me the same way, but like I said, he big up to me for hell my first year or so.
Stop.
It's good when
Come
you're
here, let me burp you. Come here, big boy.
I'm from Texas.
Big boy.
I've been into snakes pretty much my whole life. When I was a little kid, I used to go to the oil rig with my dad and catch them on the wild Great Plains rat snakes, bull snakes, garter snakes, all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, in Texas?
All in Texas, yeah. And as far as the retics, I've probably been to retics that's a good 20 plus years. And pretty much like everybody else, once you love this stuff, you can't, it's in your blood. So
Sure.
It is in your blood.
You never grow out of it, man. It never gets old.
The addiction's real.
Still like a kid in a candy store, whenever you cut an egg, I don't care what's in it.
Still the same. That never wears off.
But my story ain't much different. I grew up in Palmyra, Indiana. We had one stoplight in the whole town, and all you could do was play sports or go catch some animals, and that's what I did. So the story, and it's funny that like when we talk about this and we talk about other breeders and other reptile lovers, the story is the same.
Yeah.
All of us did the same stuff, but we didn't know each other then. It was like, I collected a bunch of turtles. I had a bunch of turtles behind the pools and this and that. I had to hit a home run to get my first snake because my dad hated snakes. He hated them. So I was about 9 years old when I first got my python. And I'd go in the pet shop and I'd stare at this python for hours. And it was a ball python, so you know what it was doing. Sitting there looking pretty. That's all it was. Never even moved, And my dad told me one day, Jimmy, if you want this, you got to hit a triple. And I was like, okay. And I ended up hitting a home run and a triple. Well, I actually hit 2 home runs, and I got a raccoon too with it. So that was what it was. I surrounded myself with reptiles. That's what I loved. And man, I had everything. And from 9 years old, the love was there. And dude, it's like you said, back then, the Burmese, the albino Burmese just started. And, you know, you had to have $30,000, $40,000 back then to have that snake. And so when you went to the show, it was like, ooh. I remember seeing the first albino iguana. And it was like, man, this is insane. You know, it was a Daytona show. And, you know, as a kid, you look at that stuff and it's like, wow, you know, and it blows your mind. So now, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years later, whatever it is, I'm just like a kid in a candy store.
Here you are today.
Yeah, these snakes here, you couldn't have 20 years ago. They weren't even there. I mean, you was lucky to get a wild-caught retic that would tear your hands off, you know, and just saw blade, just saws. But what I see now is amazing. It's pretty crazy.
Come a long ways there.
And they're sweethearts, for sure, you know.
Yeah, the most important part of this whole podcast, you know, we're gathering around. It's fun. You know, Sal and Nick, they're upwards to Wisconsin and Illinois, and you know, we're from Kentucky.
It's a little trouble, but not too bad.
And we're together. We're having a fun time. But I mean, this is the main focus of why we started this podcast, and to really sit down and talk and educate people about USARK and the reptiles USARK is fighting for.
Tell me where you came up with that.
Retic Roundtable?
Yep.
The Retic Roundtable was just something I wanted to do a long time ago, but it came into 100% fruition whenever we were in Arlington, Texas. This was 2 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago.
And we sat down, we were having a great dinner, watching Bengals lose Super Bowl. So, I mean, it is what it is. Sorry.
That's a good game.
It was a good game.
It was good.
Nice heckling.
It was a nice loss.
Yeah, but I don't know who.
Yeah.
Nick.
I guess Chicago Bear fans were there. I don't know why they would be even attending that, but I guess they were there.
X-Bear factor.
But like I said, we sat down, we had a great dinner, and we're talking. We're like, man, this is the perfect time for us to really sit down and talk up retics in general, but reptiles overall, and kind of what USARK is doing to fight for the rights for these animals is incredible. And we need to back them up 100%. And I know everyone here wants to talk a little bit about what USARK kind of means to you. So,
yeah, I mean, we can emphasize how important USARK is to the hobby. I mean, without them, we wouldn't have anything. One of the things that, like, you know, it's very important to, like, donate, but then, you know, the difference between donating and being a member, like, for example, if we need all the donations we can get, that's for sure, but being a member of USARK, it's very, very important because they need the numbers. Like if they go up to the court system and try to fight for it, they need it. If they were to go up there and say, well, we got 200 members, versus if they were to go up to say we got 200,000 members, it makes a big, big difference.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah, strength in numbers, and it helps the people, you know, up there to see that, hey, they represent a huge demographic. Yeah, so it's like very important to donate, but being a member is like, it's really where it's at. And like I said, without USARK, we wouldn't have anything. They're out there fighting for us every day, and we just gotta stay together, stay focused, and we just gotta prevail, man. This is the last chance we got it. We can't let the gas off the pedal. We gotta keep it
100%.
and stay together and get it done.
Sal brought it up, and we talked about this prior to that, and it's critical that everybody understand that the membership is important. And I didn't even think about it until he brought it up. And it's a critical idea, a critical thought that you got to have the membership. You got to have USARK membership. And it's not about retics necessarily. It's about animals and what they're trying to do, what they're trying to change, what they're trying to eliminate. And if we don't all come together, whether you own bull snakes, ball pythons, Burmese, boas, it doesn't have turtles, spiders, it doesn't matter. You got to understand that USARK is fighting for the right, and you can see it right there, for our rights to own, keep, and raise these animals. And if we don't come together and make sure that, as Sal mentioned, I mean, that was a huge conversation at lunch, was about being a member. We all donate, and we're all members as well, but everybody needs to be a member.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think of that, and that's huge. So
it's big. It's
really smart on his part.
Unity, strength in numbers. I mean, it's just...
Just your donations, you know, we can all donate, but people don't know them numbers.
The member makes
so
a huge difference. Just because, like I was saying earlier, they need to see those numbers. They go up there, they say they represent 200, 300,000 people, then it makes a bigger impact on them.
And the reality is, if anybody watches this and sees it, to his point, it should be a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Because there are insect keepers.
Yeah, millions of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think even isopods falls into this
I mean,
category.
yeah, you could see like just at the shows, man. Just at Arlington, Arlington, it was loaded, packed with great people that enjoy reptiles and enjoy animals.
Now I know USARK like handles as far as like the reptiles and stuff like that, but do they cover the birds and the mammals and all that?
It's
too,
about
or
the
is it
law.
just
U.S. Ark
just
fights the
law.
Lacey Act,
Yeah.
and everybody, that's what you need to understand is the Lacey Act that he's talking about. U.S. Ark is fighting for our rights.
Yeah.
It's fighting for your rights. It's fighting for the rights to own animals.
Another very important thing also to keep in mind is like when you talk to your senators or you talk to them on the phone or email, whatever it may be, it's important for us to try to educate them about the subject, because a lot of times they don't really understand where we're coming from. We have to kind of take the time to, get the point across properly.
Absolutely.
We're not with no rude comments or anything like that. We have to do our part, and that's like to help educate them so they can understand the whole picture.
Yeah.
So that's very important to keep it
Professional.
civil,
Yeah.
keep it professional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I was
if
saying,
we start, yapping and doing all that, they're just gonna look at us like we're crazy. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
like I was saying, I mean, when you think of when you say snake or you say reptile, what comes to your mind? I'm obviously thinking snake, I'm thinking retic, but that's what's coming to my mind. If somebody doesn't understand snakes and they're banning snakes, period, or reptiles, period, they're coming after everything, not just yours. Not just what you keep, not your niche. They're coming after everything. If somebody, they're not super educated on, subspecies, species, anything.
As a big snake keeper, we end up fighting all these basically wars, arguments from the get-go. From where I live, Lake County had laws trying to outlaw big snakes. It's like the big snake keeper always has to fight all these fights, and it's not about the groups. We're gonna lose everything if we don't stick together and fight.
And he did say gecko,
Numbers.
not gecko. Like gecko.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Geico either.
There's no logo for Geico on it.
Not sponsored yet.
Yeah,
Go get your
The
insurance.
important thing to take from all these guys is basically just to stick together and keep those numbers strong and just keep it going, man. It's
Sure.
It
doesn't
membership's not expensive,
No, it doesn't matter.
whatever you can donate, a
Anybody.
dollar,
but membership.
$1,000, whatever.
Yeah,
membership.
You
Yeah.
can be a
Not
membership. I
expensive.
think if you're a college student, there's a $10 one, I believe, and then
Yeah.
I think the basic bronze is $40. So
And the silver's only $250.
$40 membership.
Gold 1,000.
We see a lot of people in these shows, man. There's a lot of people coming through the doors in these big shows.
If they just did it Arlington, what was it, $65,000? That's
Yeah,
that was
sure, the
that's
donations.
pretty impressive.
It's just not a status of your level of membership. It's just being a member.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever you can afford. I mean,
Donations,
it's-
being a member, that's what's important.
yeah,
To me at least,
strength in numbers.
being a member, we need a lot of people. We need help.
Well, and like I said, Sal was telling us when we were eating lunch, it was like, I never thought I'd be there. I thought donate, which I'm a member. I've been a member for a while. But the donation is great. But that, like I said, when you're going to the table and you're fighting for this, when you can show 200,000 strong,
Yeah.
it's a big difference.
And that number should be million. It should
It
be.
could be 2,000, let's say 2,000 cash,
Right.
or you could have backup by 200,000 strong. It's a big difference. And I never thought of it either, Keith. When you were saying, I didn't think of that either. I just think donate, give all the money you can.
It's
help
reptiles
them.
today and tomorrow. it
But
might
the
be
membership
animals, it
is
might
the
be
most
birds, it might
important.
be fish.
Yeah, it'll be dogs and cats next.
Yeah.
The way
And
this
the only
is
thing they're
going,
probably gonna leave
They
alone is
don't
the
want to
farm
stop.
animal.
They're not going to stop. That's why.
And you know what,
confidence
farm
is
animals,
down.
and like I said, the farm animals and all that, animals and animals. You can get hurt on anything. These dogs, all that stuff. And it's like, man, why?
Horses kill more than anything
Yeah.
else.
One kick from a horse, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Look at the statistics. Snakes are.
you definitely have to be.
Well,
yeah.
all our life we've been taught that the snakes are the devil. It's like, these snakes are the sweetest. I got snakes here that are the biggest babies you've ever seen.
I mean,
You can grab them by the head. They're just there. Just cool as
But you don't do that, right?
I do. I don't grab them like that. I I can pedal.
I threw you the ball, and you
see me.
You foul balled it. You just foul balled that.
I get a kick out of people with their retics, all big snakes. You know, I mean, the sound's not very big, and we have a pretty big collection.
Pretty big
Look,
Easy. Don't bring him out like that.
Save
That's gonna flex up on you.
He never really calls me. It's usually me calling him. Hey, I might need a little help over here. You know, hey. You know.
Oh, it kills me. You know, people always say, man, you can't sell a male to a woman or a male to a baby or this. Man, I had these wild-caught retics when I was 10 and 12 years old. I raised them, you know, and if you know how to treat an animal, and you know how to love it, and you handle it, and you do the proper way, dude, they all tame down and they all get trusted. You know what I mean? You gotta work the animal.
Yeah.
It's not about what you can sell to somebody or this and that. It's about what you can teach them when you sell it.
Right.
And that's what people don't get. They don't get it right. So they'll give the snake and then bam, okay, I got your money, you're gone. Me, the first thing I would say, contact me. Here's my card. Text me, message me, and I'll teach you everything you need to know about this. But don't put it in a cage and leave it alone.
It's very important to stand behind your product.
That first, people don't understand it. They think these big animals can do this and that. But the thing is, it's how you raise it.
Yeah.
It's just like a dog. It's like a dog. You raise a dog the wrong way, guess what? That dog's gonna come up and bite you. These retics, I'm telling you, I got hundreds of babies. Those are the sweetest animals ever. But they get handled, they get pet, they get touched. Every week we're pulling them out. Doing this, we're doing whatever we gotta do. And my animals are sweethearts.
It's a big respect thing. I mean, you just respect the animal.
But you take a snake and you put it in a cage and you don't touch it, what happens?
It just depends on the snake.
Yeah, but
I got a lot.
There are mean animals.
Yeah.
There are mean people.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
are mean dogs. There are mean cats.
The thing is, the most important thing is that you gotta respect it, but you can't be afraid of it. There's a
you gotta
difference.
handle it.
Again,
You gotta learn it.
respect the animal for what it's capable of, but you have to,
I mean, just like
you
everybody
can't be
just
afraid of it at the same time.
And that's one of the biggest things they
That
get
makes any
wrong.
sense.
You have to be respectable and honest in this hobby. That's one of the biggest kills in the hobby is not being honest, forthcoming, educate. You know, just tell the way it is.
And you said it, and he said it. Educate.
Yeah.
You've done it.
You
You've
got
done
to.
it.
And
I've
the good
done it.
breeders do it.
Anybody asks a question, how to breed? Do I have a problem telling them? No.
No.
And it makes no difference to me.
That's what we'll rotate back into that
It
right
makes no
there.
difference if they even buy something off your table or not.
Yeah.
Just educating people.
Yeah.
There's people that come in.
Actually,
Like 90% of the time when you're at a show, and
We'll go
they'll
into that.
ask you if you know
no, really,
what the actual animal. They're not necessarily going to buy an animal, but you're taking your time to educate them. And
It's the best part about it.
that's
well,
the best part about it,
and
so.
the topic that somehow we just landed on,
Yeah.
that's a topic that needs to be discussed
Yeah.
mainly in the retic world, because, you know, the mainland retics gets thrown under the bus all the time. You know, this or that. But people don't talk about how they didn't raise the animal properly. You know what I mean? They put them in a cage, they didn't understand.
There's a lot to it.
They didn't understand the food response.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about retics, and if you love retics, we as breeders, we love the food response. But these people don't understand what a food response is, or how to turn it off. So now they get this animal, they put it in a cage, and the food response, all they want to do is eat. They don't want to hurt nobody. They just want to eat. And now they're scared to death to touch this animal. And that's where it comes, as breeders, you have to teach who are taking these animals.
Educating, reading their animals, visuals, just sitting there watching them, you know, just watching them eat, drink, you know, I mean, it's pretty basic, but education is the most important. When I'm selling stuff, it doesn't really matter what the item is.
Mhm.
They have to be happy with the animal. They have to understand the animal, understand what it's going to do.
Exactly. It's
You know.
part of doing your due diligence.
Yeah.
It's part of knowing the demeanor of that particular animal. There are sow animals, and I say that respectfully because they're calm, they're quiet, they do their thing, and you don't hear them run their mouth because they're a good animal. And then there are other animals, and I won't mention any names, that are just mean as snot. And you have to know the demeanor
They all
of that
have different
animal.
their own character. They all
Yeah.
react different
So,
to different
yeah.
situations.
Well, you know, like I said, there's really no such thing as a mean snake. It's a fear. They're scared. They're scared you're going to eat them.
Yeah.
It's
I said
not-
mean,
It's
but
fair
yeah,
in the
because
same
it's scared
thing,
to death.
Yeah, it's more of a
It's
fear.
part of the education of setting them up.
Instinctively.
You know, I don't like hides, but maybe they need a hide.
Yep.
Maybe they need.
Sometimes you got to slow them
Try
down.
things.
I need
Bigger
a,
cage, smaller cage.
I need a 20-foot hide, please.
Yeah.
Well,
I ain't pulling them out.
that's another topic. That's another topic that we
Hard
don't have to
time.
get into.
Yeah, we ain't getting into that.
That's another topic that we don't
We
have
got
to get
tons
into.
of these videos coming. We're gonna get
But,
tons of
dude, we
ideas.
can go and talk something,
Yeah.
but like the big cage versus the small. Man, I put my
Yeah.
snake in a big 20-foot cage. This snake's gonna get nuts.
Yeah.
My
They
cage,
get
my
scared.
snakes, yeah, they go nuts. It blows me away where people say you gotta build a whole room for these snakes. Man, there ain't no way.
Yeah.
My snakes go crazy. If I
They're gonna
pull them
stop
out,
eating.
yeah,
That's
they
scary.
will stop eating.
Yeah.
They do stop eating.
That's-
They're stressed
Basic
out.
problem of.
Oh, but that's a whole nother. I didn't want to get in that, but I'm glad that
That's
you
to
brought that
each
up.
its own too. I mean, it may work for somebody
Oh.
else, and if it works for them, great, do it. As long as the animal, the main
There's
thing is
more
the
than one way to
animal's
skin a
health.
cat.
But
Yes.
it blows me away when they say
Animal
that.
self.
And that's the way you have to do
Yeah,
it.
there's
I
no
personally
set
would.
rule books in this. I mean, we need to be responsible, of course, and then that's pretty much it. Responsible, make sure these animals stay healthy.
My retics get out, they'll only go into a tighter spot, if that makes sense. If they was to break out of my cage,
Do you
they
know?
go behind the cage, and that
No, they go
area-
to something tighter.
Hey, do you know what? You know which one banana is, right? Banana is one of my biggest animals.
monster.
I think
Yeah.
I've seen that.
All right,
video.
so I was feeding and I didn't think about it. I left
Puppy
the thing
dog,
open.
too.
I was in the room. I left it open about yay big. All right, she's big. She's 200 pounds. Anyways, come out and I forget. I come out later on. I'm like, where the hell's Banana at? Banana's a big albino tiger. You know where she went? I happen to have a.
Behind
She
the
goes
cage.
into a
big
4-foot
girl.
cage and wound herself up.
20+ foot animal.
Filled the
Nice,
whole
tight,
cage.
tight,
And
tight
that's
spot.
where she was.
That's how they feel more secure.
Yeah, that's how they go.
I was like, well, that was easy to find. I could have shut the door and said, I got it.
I could have found what your eyes was.
You know the thing, he's like dealing with all the stuff I deal with, the monitors and the lizards, and the whole 9 yards. All these animals, like as far as taming, dude, I put these lizards in a smaller cage until I get the trust. Once I get the trust built in, where they trust me and I trust them, we keep in a small cage, everything's good. But if I pull that lizard out, and every monitor person in this world knows I'm telling the truth, you take that lizard out, and he could be the sweetest animal ever. You put him in a big old 8-foot cage or 10-foot cage, guess what happens? That lizard goes straight crazy.
Yep.
And it takes you months to get him back to calm because the surroundings. And it's the same thing, the snakes too.
It's more surrounded,
Yeah.
there's more to fear.
Now they got to worry about someone going to eat them, a bird or whatever. And it really does mess with them. And I think people do, they preach that you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do that. But really, there's 100 different ways to skin a cat, and we all do it differently.
Everybody's not the way. It's just because someone does it this way doesn't
Yeah,
mean
don't mean it's
what
not
works
right.
for you might not work for
Yeah,
this other person. You might
100%.
find different techniques that work for you. Like I got my own techniques that I use.
Yeah.
And
I'm
he
humble with
Noah
him.
might have something different, a different way.
We
Doesn't
all
mean that
got
I'm
different,
right or he's
yeah.
right or whatever. It's at the end of the day, it's just
It's very humbling when, me and Sal always talk about certain things, and he's just like, just because we do it this way doesn't mean anybody else has to do it that way. And it was kind of like an awakening for me because I thought the way we did it was the only way, but it's not always that way.
Yep.
Well,
Everybody has different ways to trick them to breed or eat or stop cruising around shedding and stuff like that. So just education I think is a huge topic that
Yeah.
and
You could have a whole show with education.
yeah, that's why we just keep on
I
running
found with the big animals an elbow drop if they don't eat.
Off the turn.
there's no body slam.
Yeah, well, that's why you stay off of media. Dude, I can't even get on social media because I'll watch. Like somebody will do something, so they'll put a snake up in a 10-gallon aquarium or whatever. People do that dumb stuff. That's what we did 20 years ago.
Yeah,
But you will have
we've come a long way.
hundreds of comments
Bring it up.
that tell him how bad this is,
Instead of
Which-
how
instead
terrible
of-
Which
he
we
is.
shouldn't do.
the problem
I
is-
don't do it. I stay off of that stuff.
That would be a
because-
private PM to say, hey man, I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
a couple
Well,
of ways to
that's
skin your
That,
cat.
that's my point.
Respect.
Like
You ain't got to do it on Facebook.
No.
you'll
or-
see somebody do some a certain way, right? To a lot of people, he's not doing it right. So they'll go on there and they'll blast them instead of saying on there politely and humbly, saying, well, you know what if you try this? What if you do it this way? Try this other method.
That's
Maybe you get better
what I-
results.
And that's where-
Instead of, oh, he's got doing it this way, he's doing it that way. It's run away.
It's almost embarrassing. It's like they get on there and they just trash.
And that's a real good way to promote the hobby. Beat somebody up because they
don't know
something differently than what we
Teach
did.
them. Teach them
Right, wrong, or indifferent. They did it differently. It didn't work. Don't beat them up.
We're learning.
Take them under your wing and show them.
Sal makes me the biggest body
some wings are bigger than others.
Me up because I'm like, hey, this isn't right. This isn't right. He just
the coolest thing about it
being humbling is tough in this hobby because
usually when you pull one of them new guys in, and the ones that they're getting beat up, you pull them in quietly. PM, hey man, a little funny stuff. Here's some things you got to watch. Look out for this here. Maybe this ain't 100%, but be careful with that. Dude, usually they will follow you, and they need the help. You know what I mean? We all started somewhere. You know, I mean, I had a.
When I started, I had a flip phone, and there was no Facebook. Just so you're aware.
I had a pager.
Didn't exist.
I had a pager.
Sky page.
Pager.
We got a lot of stuff Noah has.
Stay on topic, but all that's great because it's going to lead into this right here. Was what is the best advice you could give someone starting to maybe just keep retics or breed retics?
I think a big part of advice that I would give is to take the time to do your research, take the time to do your due diligence. You know, take months, however long it takes you to talk to people. I mean, now we got the internet. You can go on there, research how big they get, everything you need to know. That's what you have to do before you just jump into. Hey, it's a cool animal, but yeah, they're cool. But just do your homework and make sure you educate yourself. Education, it's the way to go. Otherwise, you might get yourself in a situation that that you weren't ready for.
I know everybody's got a lot to say, but I'm going to mention one thing on that too. That's a huge comment because I've been a very, very giving person, and I would trust too many. My wife has told me I trust way too many people.
I'm kind of the same way.
And it happened recently with an individual that had, he made a mistake, made a huge mistake. He had a lot of my animals. And I say that because he was in trouble, and he didn't reach out. And that's what you're saying. If you didn't do your homework, now you're in trouble, reach out.
Reach out.
This guy could have made one phone call. He could have called me. You would have helped. You guys aren't close. This guy's right here in Kentucky. A lot of animals suffered for it. He could have made one phone call. We could have
fixed it.
We could have helped it just like that. But he understood the animals, but he was in trouble because he had too many.
Yeah, too many.
And he had too much pride to say, "Hey, man, I'm tagging out." So he bit off a little too much.
So, and he's huge. That's huge. What you're saying. Understand what you're doing. Understand where you're going.
Exactly.
But if something goes wrong, one phone call.
There's nothing wrong with saying.
I'm not saying you call me, but you can call anybody in Retic or
call anybody at this table. I know anybody at this table will come help.
There's a lot of
if we can.
A lot of great people out there.
Yeah.
There's tons.
Sounds right.
More than
a lot of people will help.
enough time to help.
You just gotta say, "I need help."
Exactly.
And there's no judgment, but make the call.
Got you.
You're better off to do more private than publicly.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that are professionals because of Facebook and stuff like that that really don't have a clue. And I'd rather see someone take care of their animal right. It's just way better.
Yeah.
Just do it right.
Now, advice, back to the question, you said, what advice would we give somebody?
Yep.
Man, the advice I would give is make sure you really love this animal. Don't buy it on a whim. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people say, man, that thing's so gorgeous, it's beautiful. I gotta buy it. Dude, know what you're buying. You know what I mean? You don't want to go buy a car without an engine in it. You know what I mean? You know what you're buying. Put your time into it. Let you chase, because Chase will put the engine in there. But know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? There are so many retics on the market now where people buy them, and like I said, they get them home. Everything's cool. They get them home. They throw them in that cage, and then a week later they go give them water or something. Now this animal's ready to eat them, and that's why so many. Oh, we gotta let them go. We gotta let them go. This thing's crazy. It's mean. It's not a mean animal at all. It's an animal that's wanting to eat. Do you pull them out of the cage to feed them? Do you leave them in the cage to feed them? It don't matter. A retic has a food response And personally, I love retics the
All
most.
snakes have a food response.
Yeah.
But the retics is the one that I really enjoy because you know when you open that cage, they're ready to go. Bam, there it is, done.
Yeah, it
I'm
depends on
done.
the snake too. I got some females that won't even come out and grab them.
Yeah,
I gotta just lay them in
Some
there.
you can just lay in there.
Yeah, lay it in.
I guess just
No way.
like, you know,
Yeah.
that's what's lovely about sitting at a table with different people, is just understanding, you
All
know,
different.
it's everything's different. You know, just because it's a retic doesn't mean it follows a certain
I
guidelines.
mean, we talk about
what
the
it's
retics, but
expected to be.
technically you could actually put it on most all reptiles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
Agreed.
anything.
Anything.
everything's different. I just open the opposite side, put him in there, whereas he makes sure that he stuffs it in there and
Yeah.
feeds it.
I know this may sound strange. I always open the right-hand side of my cage.
It's because you're left
That
handed.
seems weird.
No, I did it long before that.
You're left.
Long before
You
my
got a
left
slow
hand.
thumb. You got a slow thumb.
And I'll be honest with you, Banana, the one I've owned the longest, if I open the left-hand side, she didn't even really look. I don't know why. I'm not saying she's trained,
She's trained.
Now, she's
but
20
I open the
something.
right-hand side,
She's
and she
been
She's
goes,
been around the block.
Now she's
That's
20
what's
How
something.
long have you had it, Keith?
2007.
From the first.
yeah, 2007.
So she's 20 something plus foot, I'd say. 200 plus pounds, I'd say.
Yeah.
How often do you feed her? You would think you would feed her cows. Do you feed her cows?
I don't have cows accessible.
Right. What?
But if you did,
Oh.
But if I
I
did,
got a cow to sell you.
Well, the reason why I'm getting it because it's actually pretty crazy because he don't feed like what you would think he
I
feeds.
did for a long time.
Ah.
And then last year, I thought, and he knows that she was obese, so I thought I'd trim her down. And to be honest with you, I trimmed her down too much. So this year I'm going back to once a week. For a while there, she got everything that was extra.
So there he goes.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
And hence why you have a 200-pound retic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was wrong.
I got a few.
But now I've undercut her. Now I'm trying to go back to something
she
normal.
gave you a good workout though, right?
Oh, she's a
Yeah.
great animal, but she's
Sweetest animal.
wore me out.
No.
But if she wants to go left, you're going left with her. That's the truth.
Like you were saying, what the question was, I think if you're going to get into this, you have to be humble. You can't be afraid to ask the questions, no matter good, bad, dumb.
It's no such thing as a dumb question.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
I said,
In your mind, you may think it's dumb, but
Yeah.
in
to
truth,
his
it's
point,
awesome.
I send pictures, texts, probably every day. Hey, I hit the snake. Just did it. She just laid eggs. She's all fat. She's all swollen. This is weird. I send you messages all the time.
yeah,
What do you
I remember
think?
you were asking about the egg
Yeah. And I
situation.
said, what do you do with this? What do you do with that?
Yeah.
I've been on it for a
We're here to
long,
help each other out.
long time. And there were always a different circumstance. So yeah, to your point, I was like, I haven't seen this. Have you? Have you?
Well, see, that's the best thing about our clique right here. And it's not a clique. I mean, we could add more people here. That's missing, but it's because of the drive. But when something goes squirrely, y'all the first people out. Man, what the heck is this? This is crazy. What's going on? And you guys will say, well, this is what's going on, this or that, or you're missing this or whatever. And
Or we'll say, oh shit, we don't know.
oh, shit. Yeah.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
about that one.
Yeah. You know, tell us how that works out.
Yeah.
We all, I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like, it's like not customer service, but you know what? We all get messages about, you know, she's not sitting still, she's cruising, she's not eating. You know what? It's just the right thing to do. And if you know what, if I don't have an answer, I go to Sal. If I don't go to Sal, I go to someone else. Someone for the right answer.
Somebody
Yeah.
understands.
Usually me.
We're all trying to help, and I think that's what the hobby needs.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, you can't just be like,
Well,
you know,
and that's
you just buy a
actually,
steak for me, so good luck. Go back to the person that bought it. I've
Well,
found
that's-
some people that done that.
that's where
I
the
don't
good
care.
breeders come in. And when you buy a snake, you're not just buying that snake. You're going to have
Long commitment,
questions. So you got to get in with your breeders because your breeders actually know. They actually know a lot. But you got to get in with the breeders that you can call, you can text, and I know with no doubt, you know, if I had a problem, I'd text either one, any of them.
You gotta go to the
I'll
experience.
help anybody that asks me questions, but I won't identify their
Oh.
snakes.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah, now you
experience
can't
helps, too.
identify because man,
From a
that-
picture.
yeah.
I haven't.
You know,
I've been
what?
doing it a
We're
long
all
time.
here to help
Experience, yeah.
people.
Mhm.
Sometimes it
Labeling
doesn't matter
is
how
tough.
long you've been in the game. I mean, I've been in for 10 years. You've been in for 30, 40. Sometimes I may know something that he don't know or vice versa. Or Jim might know something.
There's 100 years
Yeah.
plus
Yeah.
in just this little table.
Yep.
That's just this little table. Doesn't mean we've seen it all.
No.
There's a lot I haven't
I learn
seen.
every day.
Well,
Sam.
they always throw you a curveball when you need to.
Yeah,
take it.
and I'm always like, oh
This
shit,
is
Sal, you
different.
seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, sometimes they don't go to you because he's been watching, Sal, you seen this? He said, you're screwed. No, he doesn't say that. He never said that.
We went to the NRABC show in Texas, and I ran up to Bob, and I was talking to him, and I'm not afraid to ask questions, and I learned a lot
For sure.
Oh yeah.
from just going out.
It's a pride thing, man. Just swallow your pride and ask questions.
Like I said, when you're dealing
That's all
with
it
this, go
is.
ahead. I'm sorry, Seth. Go
No,
ahead.
it's just, you just can't be afraid to ask the questions, man. At
We're still
the
asking
end of the day,
questions.
if this person can't help you, then there's gonna be somebody that can. If they don't have the answer, they at least lead you toward the right direction.
Well, when you
Yeah,
buy a
so
snake,
more.
well, I'm not cutting you off. Where's it?
You are cutting me.
I didn't mean to. I thought he got quiet on me. I thought he was taking a pause.
His drink's empty, so
Yeah, if you pause,
If you pause,
he's a
I'm
filler.
I'm
Can't
going
pause on
I'm
mine.
going there.
But
But
pause on mine, Jimmy.
but dude, it's I gotta get one too.
And's here. I am.
Check.
I'm not to be your girl.
If you're gonna buy a snake, you better get in with your breeder, and don't feel bad about asking a million
Your
questions.
breeder's basically your mentor.
Yeah,
That's the guy you gotta go to.
It don't matter who's the breeder,
Yeah,
but if he's
big or
not
small.
helping you, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Now sometimes we all get busy. I got that. Sometimes it might take me a couple hours to get to the responses, but I'll always get to them.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Cut me
No,
off.
who's the goat? You.
Elbow. No, go
I
ahead.
promise, guys,
You
next
got it,
show,
man.
I
Yeah,
promise,
exactly.
I will have shock collars, and I am
I told you
zapping.
you should have had
I am
some.
zapping. Shock collars, I am zapping.
We get too excited.
And I may zap the
You better
little
get two of them for me.
He got no neck. It'll go on his, it'll go on his sweater.
Oh yeah.
All right, but let's just jump into a little funner question.
We probably need to look at some of these questions.
Yeah.
A little fun. All right, let's jump into some of these.
Next show.
Check to make sure
You got
they're
some
loaded up.
questions?
Yeah,
You see
okay.
and we see
I'm
the
on-
questions.
Yeah,
I got one right here.
Yeah,
I got one right
this
here.
one's a pretty good one, but it's pretty tricky.
Have any of you learned anything new this breeding season?
Just happened.
Anything new.
Just happened. I sent you pictures. I sent you pictures. I didn't send you guys. That big platinum head hypo.
Yep.
After
Oh.
breeding, she swelled up and she wouldn't eat. And I mean, if you didn't know she had laid eggs, you just said, man, she's gravid. No, she just laid eggs. She was enormous.
It was ovulated and.
Yeah, I had laid her egg. She was done.
Oh, she did the eggs.
Laid the eggs, was done, and then about 2 weeks after she laid, she's going in her, her post-lay shed and all that stuff, and swelled up. I mean, and she was big. And so I sent a picture of these guys. I was like, what do you think of this? And I said,
Infection.
that's what I thought. And I was like, well, this is getting, I was really very, very, very concerned.
Yeah.
And so, and these guys were like, well, there's not a whole lot you can do. Let's just hold tight, see what you can do. She wouldn't eat either. So I let her go. So now the babies are going to hatch here in March. And just a week ago, she finally defecated, and it was, I guess, a buildup of fluid.
Yeah.
And she released it all. I mean, it was a mess, but I was like, well, there's the good news. So the swelling goes down. She hadn't eaten yet. She wouldn't take a rat. She wouldn't take a rabbit. So I thought, well, what the heck? I just threw a live rat in there.
Well, this is the one you were saying that studied the one of the live ones, right?
Yeah, no, that was the triple head. Yeah, this is a different one. So all this concern, and it was just apparently maybe a buildup of the calcified and the fluids behind it, and she released it all, then she ate. So there's something I learned out there. It's not like I did anything particular, but I was concerned. I thought, what am I going to do? Because the snake, after she defecated and all that, she's not like that big around. She should be like, I was like, oh man. But now she ate, so now the concern is like, okay, good, now she's got to get her own food. Yeah. So that was something different for me, that she swelled up after she laid her eggs.
This question right here is the one I'm.
All right, this is a second parter. It says, have you ever dealt with multiple pre-lay sheds? For example, the snake throws a shed the day it's supposed to lay, and then it lays a perfect clutch 30 days after that shed, with no interactions with another male after the first
We
shed.
just talked about this.
Well, you know what, and what's funny with this, because I had a hell of a time with this. When I first started breeding, I had a hell of a time with this because he kept saying, Jimmy, it's 30 days after the shed.
I see 32.
Well, 32. Well, it's like 30 days, 30 days.
The average window, yeah.
Well, me, dude, I was putting my males in early. You know, as soon as they went off food, boom, the males was going in. You know what I mean? So they were breeding early. But the females wasn't really, you know,
They're just building.
taking it in.
Yeah.
They were just building. Yeah. So I would get the post shed mixed up with the pre-shed.
Oh, yeah.
So what it is, and guys, it's really, and it's funny, I'm glad I get to answer this, because at one time I was the dumbass thinking, why ain't this animal, oh shit, she's gonna die, you know, 30 plus week or 30 plus days later, and now she's starting to build and blow up and get huge.
Now, who taught you the most of the whole situation with your own animals, watching them and how they act?
Oh yeah, now you have to
they
read them.
teach
You do. And like I said, I look at these snakes till you really can't look. I know if they got a fingernail out of line. You know, I mean, if I got trimmed little fingernails, dude, I know. But they'll swell up. You can read them. But what it is to the answer to the question, you got a post shed and you got a pre shed. You got to know when you're putting your males in. If your males breeding early and you see them early locks, guess what? It's a common mistake to get that first shed there.
I think you're missing the point. I think he's saying that they did their post-ovulation shed.
Yeah, he's counting his
And then there's a
post-ovulation,
second
and
shed
a second one.
that happened.
That's happening.
That's what
Well, the post-ovulation
he might know.
He's saying it's a pre-shed.
I'm saying it's a pre-shed,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's the pre-shed before you get into the post.
Yeah, but that's,
Yeah, post-ovulation, you got your pre-shed, which
right.
Pre-shed,
pre-shed is usually what you start counting your window, usually
30 days.
30 to 35 days.
Right.
Sometimes you can go up to, I've had one go up to 65 days.
Right.
My average is usually 35.
How scared were you on the 65 days?
Like
Yeah,
we always
scares
talk like
you,
this.
yeah.
is
No, I
a
would-
good
I had
shed
it
for
happen.
the-
But it's
Couple years
happening. You had that.
I sent a message to
contacted
you.
me on that one,
Yeah.
heck yeah, I did.
Then I almost think that's heat related too.
Well, I don't know about that, but I was
Or it's
gonna
heat
say,
related.
I think it's not I think the end results isn't a very good result where you have your post-ovulation shed and then like after like 40 days you have another shed. It's usually not very good. I think that's what he was asking. He knows about the first shed
Yeah.
and the second shed, but there's a third shed that he's concerned about that's happened where we've experienced
Oh,
that.
a third shed?
Yeah, that's where he's saying it's.
I thought you were saying just the post.
Yeah, after the post-ovulation shed,
Yeah,
there's
well,
another
that's,
shed.
Now that's
That's
once you get to that, when you do your post shed and your
Count
pre-lay
sheds.
shed,
yeah,
and if you get a shed after that, you still haven't got eggs.
yeah.
That's usually not.
I think that's what he's
not-
getting
that's not a
at
good
because
sign.
he's got.
He said laid perfect eggs though.
but
Said
here,
boom, it laid perfect eggs.
I just had this happen, telling you guys about the OG
You
at
texted
the
me
house.
the other day. Yeah, about it.
I could have sworn she was going to lay her eggs, right? So she's on day 38, 39, she sheds. Well, and I took the male out, but to answer his question, what I think happened is that other shed was just a shed. Because they do that too.
Right.
It was just a shed.
Just a normal growth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just a normal growth shed. Now she just shed again. So I think now this is her.
So you could even say like precaution, just you know what I'm saying, count the sheds, follow the days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sheds again,
Exactly. Just
follow
To
them again.
Sal's
Once,
point,
yeah.
until you
Know your
30.
animals.
I'll do 30, and if she sheds, I'll. Oh well,
Might be
shit.
30
We
again.
got to go a little bit more.
And then there's always, just like bananas
I got one
last
that
year.
just tricked me. I got
Then-
one in the basement
then-
that just
We're
tricked me.
we're always learning.
Bananas
That's
was 2
the
years
whole
ago.
thing.
She reabsorbed everything.
Yep.
Took her to a vet, the big animal, the one we were talking about before. Took her to a vet because I said, oh man, she's impacted and all that stuff. Well, she was. We took care of that. He said, yeah, she is, because he had to do x-rays. Yeah, she is gravid. Never laid any eggs.
That's what I mean. They're
Yeah.
still learning.
Like I said earlier,
That's
it's
the whole point.
humbling,
Took them all.
Yeah.
Took them back.
humbling, and education. Learning. We're still learning. You know,
Ton.
on the hobby, and this is. I get that question because I understand it pretty good. It's sometimes it's not very good.
See,
No,
you
But
you got in there?
understanding that shed.
any other
Anything good in there? Some people saying what's up. Everybody
Look,
saying
Larry,
yo,
Christy.
What's happening?
Chrissy's, what are you trimming down at Chrissy's? That's what I want to know.
What?
She's talking about Banana. You said you trimmed her down. She said he's always trying to trim me down.
Oh, my wife's on there.
I'm over like, what the hell you trimming on Christmas?
I don't feed Christy. I took Christy's rabbits down a little bit. I was feeding her frozen thaw.
So now only once every 2 or 3 weeks.
What are you trimming down?
Yeah.
What are you working on?
He's trying to pull the mail early.
Oh man, but
Pull the mail too early.
But those are the questions, like, you know, and you guys have been doing it longer than me, as far as breeding a lot longer than me. So I've got like 5 years under my belt.
At the end of the day, your own animals teach you a lot. If you really pay attention to it, they're the one. That's what you can learn 90% of your stuff. You know, just watching them and how they do things.
Oh yeah.
The more you do it, the more it's easier.
Quit trying to block Titan.
What is up with you? Look, I've got
The table, they keep on pulling it over there.
All right.
Did you play extra?
Let's play a little
Yeah,
fun. Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Can't
Out
say
of
shit.
all the genetics and retics. I mean, you could throw a combo in there if you want. What is your favorite genetic? Your favorite? At the top.
Motley GC.
GC
I'm
likes the
a little
dark.
biased, but Mocha, obviously.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I will, even though I don't own one, I say Motley GCY. It's dark. And you have that for the end of this conversation. And that's why. But I'm saying that because it's a fraction of the Black Knight. Although I didn't know.
Easy. We ain't got to do that yet.
I said
Say that to the end.
I said it to the end. You be quiet. I said a fraction. There's a
They're
fraction.
done. They're out.
Have you ever done an
Check,
eighth?
check.
You know what an eighth is?
We haven't even
All
talked
right.
about the Black
Pass
Yeah, we're not
on.
even bringing it up yet.
Mine's
But
You
Motley
gotta keep the
GC.
people
That's
listening.
for next weekend.
Mine's
You know what a fraction is? You know what a fraction is?
No, I wouldn't get it.
It's okay. It's math wise. If I say it's an eighth, they don't know the other 6
Had a
eighths.
fraction too.
75% to learn.
Had a fractured tooth one time.
All right, Nick, what's your favorite?
My combination is pretty easy. It's Mocha, Mochino, Motley.
Oh, okay.
Either one of those combinations.
Man, I tell you what, I got a new one, and I don't know how this hit me, but man, I tell you what, my favorite snake right now is a fruit basket. I don't know how it hit, but this thing.
I thought you would have said tiger.
Now, tiger's some good stuff. I got tiger on my back.
I got shirts that say tiger.
I'm het
I
tiger.
got tigers.
I'm a het tiger.
I got shirts that say Tiger Hardesty.
Hey, how
You
does
paid extra
how
for
does the
this.
gate sound
Huh?
Tiger?
Kind of free.
Got the logo?
Yeah, I got it.
Hardesty has a
But it's a
shirt.
little-
Yeah.
Something
And
like
the
that.
gang sign looks like
Now it's a middle finger, I think.
yeah, like this.
Can't do
I
that.
was doing that. See, that's a fraction.
Oh, I thought that
That's
was
the
tiger.
whole
I thought that was
fraction.
tiger.
Oh,
The whole number.
My favorite had to be, I don't know, probably Jaguar. Jaguar's
Jag.
probably my favorite.
Jag's good stuff.
Jag's
I'm a
probably
Jag.
my
hey, that's why I bought my boy a Jag het pie.
There we go. A close favorite. Man, I made the Machino Phantom. I love Phantom stuff. Phantom, to me, was my first purchase.
Hands off to that Mocha.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Mocha Jag.
Mocha
I
Jags.
love the Phantom
Mocha
stuff,
Jags
too.
are awesome. They came out pretty
We got a
good.
Mocha Jag from
The
you.
Machino Jags, I like a little more. The Mocha Jag, genetically behind it, is awesome. As they're getting older, they're even better. But the Machino is just
It's like wine. They
man.
get
The
that-
mocha looks like a normal, but it's so
so rich.
So dark.
dark, and that's what a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, it's rich.
They never even seen the
It's
original
super
Mocha.
rich.
Is
I guarantee it.
ridiculous. I remember when Jay came over after a show.
Yeah.
He was like, that's
For
not
people
what I
that don't
expected.
know, this is the Mocha Boys right here. This is
That's where it all started.
this is who
You
started.
guys
Well,
were
no,
one of the
no,
first.
to be
I was
honest-
lucky enough to get the original ones.
The honest
whole-
truth is where we started
but,
was the AML stuff. We made GC had AMLs,
Ooh,
and then we made the first AML GCs.
I ain't gonna pound you.
That's where it
I'll
started.
pound you on both.
That's where
Hell's
the
I'm big AML fan,
monster
but I'll pound you on
started.
Hey, I got some AML GC.
A funny question, and this is for you two, for you and Sal. And I know because Keith told me, explained a lot of this to me, but a lot of people don't understand this. And me, this has killed me for a long time. What the hell is the difference between a white face and an A-male? I know it doesn't compact, but they look identical. What's the difference?
AML's brighter.
I don't think that.
Well,
Well, they
AML's
could.
more
be.
real ruby red eyes.
Yeah.
Animals.
AML's a
They're but
completely different allele too.
yeah, they're
It's-
totally different. Yeah.
I know they're not
That's
compatible
the
when they
biggest
breed,
one.
right?
If you look at AML next to a white AML is I don't want to call it brighter, but it kind of is.
It kind of looks like a blonde as a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I've
The
seen
big-
them.
the biggest
To me
difference is
personally,
just
make
the-
my eyes ain't
The fact that they're
zoning in.
I got some hatching.
genetically, I'm not even.
I got
Some of the best ones I saw at one of the first Tinleys. The first Tinley when El Bagdado was there, and they were just ridiculous. I got it one of the first.
Just
times
because y'all brought the
available.
email up is why I wanted to ask
Yeah.
that, because to me, I still have
You
an
have
issue
one?
trying to
You
figure
used to
out.
love Amen.
No, I ended up selling them out because I just.
Well, I got some hatching. Email Motley GCs. I'll show you what they're.
Yeah,
they're
for
pretty-
sure.
Pretty good.
And I would know the comparable.
Shameless plug, but we're
Yes,
right in there.
true.
Shameless plug.
That's a little different.
Well, shameless plug.
AKA.
What plug?
Well, you know, give Titan Retics on your email.
Hey, I got to mention too though.
He's trying to make
you guys talk about the mocha, and you know we did the breeding. He did the mocha, and I gotta say, if I had the mocha in my hand, I'd be like, "What the hell's this?" So good on you because you took that to the next level to say, "Oh, because me and the Machino, I'm like." I would have looked at the mocha, to be honest with you, because he showed me a video after they hatched, because they hatched at his
better in
house,
person.
and I was like, well, that looks like a normal. It was so dark, it looked like a normal.
I mean, that's just how dark.
But
I
it
mean,
plays.
when you look at the where the black's supposed to be, and a mocha that's almost the best color to describe it, like a cherry black.
Yeah, like a coffee.
It's not black like this, but it's like a cherry black.
Yeah, you have to know what you're looking at.
Well, I hit that
That's how
mocha
dark they are,
GC.
rich.
I hit that mocha GC.
I
the
will
female down
say,
there.
yeah, I will
And-
say it plays better with a lot of stuff. A plain mocha, it can be hard for the eye to catch, but I made a mocha Motley Tiger. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and that depends
Phenomenal.
on.
It's like that. It's like the
that,
mocha.
didn't you? I didn't see anything about that.
No,
It's
Yeah,
like the mocha
so-
GC.
There's a couple in my house. We got
I got a mocha
Yeah,
GC
it
down
depends
there.
on what
That's
combination
insane.
you put with it too.
Yeah.
Different combos making it different.
A lot of stuff played. Yeah,
Brightens it up or makes
that's
it
what's
darker.
so fun about playing,
Well,
being the
that's-
mad
that's what
scientist.
makes-
You're,
that's what
you're
do
pouring a
this,
little
man.
bit of this with a little bit of this.
Your
and,
ingredients,
you know,
sprinkle
yeah.
it
I always said that.
And just because they hatch this year doesn't mean they can look totally different the next year. You know, the pattern
That's
can
what
be
makes it
totally
fun, though.
funky and
That's what
all.
makes it
That's all we've done is just church stuff, like a lot of the stuff that Bob Clark did, the genetic stripe, the Sunfire, the Mochino Sunfire, the Mochino genetic stripe, all the
That
stuff
stuff's
that everybody
awesome.
else did, we just built off of it.
Machino's my favorite out of mine, 100%.
It's not a Mochino show, but I'm just saying,
No, it's
that's all we
Machino.
did
To me,
off
it's
of it,
Machino show.
you know, so I mean, we always
Mochino.
praise other people that were before us, so.
That's
Take
the
the
show.
US artist.
Yeah, obviously. Keith's banned. We're banning him.
Cutting.
Any other questions?
If you're,
I gotta put him on.
No more Gatorade.
Back or rat.
No more Gatorade.
if
Kids.
you're
strong
watching, if you're
Gatorade.
watching us, you should be a USARC member.
If you're drinking Gatorade like
We
that,
plug the QSARC. We'll keep plugging the USARC. USARC. Be a member.
Support them, man.
Got you.
Don't have a membership,
If it's
please.
wins, walks,
Log
calls,
off here. Go
Yeah,
get a
you-
membership.
you-
Come
We're
back
all
and
there,
watch.
yeah. We're
You
all
have to
there.
be a USARC member. They're not going to stop.
If anybody's a USARC member, drop USARC in the chat. Everybody drop USARC in the chat. Spam USARC in the chat. Get USARC out there.
They're coming for your fins.
Your
they're
mom,
coming
your
for
dad,
everything.
your aunt, your uncle, your dog. We'll sign
It's
them all.
gonna be a shame when you can't have a guppy.
Get them up. Go buy yourself steak
It's
dinner.
gonna be a shame.
Sign them all.
Whatever it takes.
Like I said, the retics are on the chopping block, but it's gonna be a shame when
It's
you
not-
can't have a
It's
guppy.
not just the retics. It's
We won't
You know what I mean?
believe
It don't
me.
matter. They might get the retics, this or that, but they're gonna eventually get them all.
Put all those bees down there too.
Yeah.
Boas, blackheads, burns,
They're all
bull
coming.
snakes,
everything.
They're all coming.
All
Yeah,
fine.
I'll take
bull
them.
pythons,
Yeah.
Always.
bowlings, yeah.
Let's get a little personal.
Where are we going? Let's
Let's get a
go.
little
Come on,
personal.
no, bring it in there. Bring the heat. Bring us the heat.
What do you think is a top project you could see in the future yourself putting out? What are you working on? What's something mad scientist
Can't
sound?
talk about the one yet.
The number one breeding
Yeah.
project, me.
You're a good breeder, I heard that.
Proven breeder.
Yeah, just what are you working on right
Yeah,
now?
I've seen
What are
the
you most
YouTube.
excited about?
That's a tough one. I got quite a few.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what?
the wrong person,
You know
man.
what? Before you know what? We wouldn't breed it if it's not worth
I'd love
it.
to be a fly on the wall when you're cutting
We're not going to
eggs,
just
brother.
breed anything. So
There's so much. I mean, there really is so much different stuff that it's hard. It's just like, oh my goodness, you know, pick up this one or this one or is it that one. But I got some. See, I got some pretty phenomenal 100% head stuff. That
Ooh, 100% have what? 100% have what?
No, you can't get in
little
that.
100%
That's why he's got a secret,
sprinkle
yeah.
of blue,
Yeah,
sprinkle
Just
of-
like the
Oh,
stuff.
blue and then
Rain
the,
and
okay,
sprinkle.
the rain and the blue.
All that
Okay,
little good
I'm
stuff.
picking up where you're putting down.
But yeah, it's hard to pick one. I mean, I can't just
Man,
pick one.
I agree.
That's
Well,
stuff.
can
That
you pick
stuff
one?
is.
I mean, if you have,
I think I don't
Yes,
think you can pick one
100%.
because we wouldn't
100%.
breed it.
You can pick one?
No, you could. I know you could.
Well,
Pick one?
I'm excited about to see a titanium cow. I think will look cool.
Yeah, you've been talking to me.
But and those are on the ground. But I think that the snow, motley, jag, pied, they're going to have GC in them.
Yeah.
I think GC will kind of mess the whole pattern up. But
You
I
have
think
some without
I think the
GC.
snow, motley, jag, which we got part 2 done now. I think those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I think the triple head stuff, which you know what they are, I'll leave that alone. But I think that may be cool too. So
Yeah.
kind of like you, unfortunately, I have so many normals growing at the house. It's like, well, what do you got all these normals for? Well, they ain't necessarily normals, but you gotta go somewhere.
Gotta put
to
your
start.
hours in.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, so they're
If
triple heads.
if nobody's making the heads that you want to work with, you gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, so I to your
It's
point.
fun too, making your hits and
Yeah.
watching.
Well, that's
You know,
watching the whole circle.
Watching some of your holdbacks you're raising up. You know, I got a holdback, Machino, Phantom, Platy,
Which we're gonna get some
Sun
better
Tiger,
ones.
Sun Tiger. Her, you know, to see she's 2 years old, but to see her on eggs, I mean that's gonna be cool.
Your dream.
That's my first holdback female.
Well, and like me, man, I'm getting into the. I like the fruit baskets. I got I want the purples. I got the anthrax. The anthrax fruit baskets is what I want to see. I want to see some purple. I want to see some orange glows. I want to see all of them.
Yeah.
I think
the
Oslo,
anthrax is something.
anthrax and
That was-
South
that was
done more
one of
anthrax than
my-
most, but I think Oslo and anthrax is going to be something really
That's
cool.
what we.
I would really heavy into the anthrax complex. That's
And I don't blame you. That's good stuff.
The Machinos and the
Yep.
Mounties and all that.
The anthrax is probably one of my favorites, especially once you put the Machino and the mocha to it.
Exactly.
But if you take like what I want to see is I want to see you put the lemon glow into it as well and see what happens.
Yep.
I like the hypo Oslo. But that's just
I haven't seen a hype. Oh, you got them, yeah, but
No,
nobody's got a
no,
hypo
that's- you're
ocelot.
talking.
You're talking
Yeah.
years.
No,
no,
That's
no.
double
It's so
obsession.
deep.
No. We
You
can
just
make
had to
that
let
sooner
you just had to let everybody know,
over the balls.
huh?
We can make that sooner than you know.
What the hell? No, I know it's coming.
Possibly.
It's all here.
No, those for at least for me, they're still probably 2 years old.
It's a little bit of
It'll
a
be worth
gamble.
the wait.
But I think
It's tough.
2 years
We-
before the eggs hatch.
we talked about that. But
I
I
cut
think
them after this video.
What's that?
titanium, platinum anthrax might be cool. I got those rolling. I don't know.
Yeah, those are pretty unique.
Anthrax. Should be pretty dark. I bet the titanium darkens it, almost like
Might be
the
anthrax.
Titanium is very. Their citrons now they're very very bright.
They almost look like sunfires.
Yeah.
Clean the lines up. I know that.
So I don't know with the titanium. Titanium's kind of like GC in a lot of ways, where it eats a lot of the.
Well, it
genes.
does, yeah. It's,
I think-
it's
well, okay,
over
real
one
quick
of the-
question.
Some of the genetics.
GC or Jaguar, which swallows up more?
GC all day
You
long.
think so?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty
That's
close.
fact.
GC.
That's fact.
I know.
I've got one from you guys
I
that's a
did.
GC.
The Jaguar plays so good with stuff.
Jaguar
But it does-
makes everything
GC
better,
does-
in my opinion.
GC
No, but I
is
mean,
a
the
great.
GC would just eat that shit.
Oh,
Great,
GC.
GC is a great gene, but
Jag
it
GC would
eats
eat it up.
almost everything, just like the pie.
I think you put Jag Marble.
You see
with
some of those
anything,
some of the
it's
Jag
amazing.
combinations
Albino
I've seen.
GC, I remember just drooling over Albino GC when they came out when I first.
The
I still love. I still love.
Some of the Jag complexes are just they eat up a lot.
Well, you
I
all
still
made
love the
a lot of
Jag.
more Jags than we could even think about. So
And right now,
probably know a little
unfortunately,
more.
/fortunately, we got a ton of Jags.
Yeah,
We got
I had a ton of
one.
Jag last
Well,
But once you put it with GC,
I mean, it's just we got 5 Jags just here, sitting here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Jag off.
Well,
easy.
It's right there all
Put your
over.
hands to bed.
No more
We'll edit that later.
to me, you put the Jag Marble to anything out there, it's amazing. You got to put them two on anything out there, and it
I think
just takes it to another
add
level.
Motley.
What?
Jag Marble. You put Jag Marble.
I think
two
Yeah,
Gs,
Motley-
beautiful.
You put
with
Motley in.
anything.
Yeah.
They were very-
Adding Motley.
Anything.
Motley and Jag.
That's basically a poor
And
man's
you
jigsaw.
add, you throw
Yeah.
Phantom in there too.
Oh,
Oh
man,
no,
it's
this
insane.
orange ghost stripe.
It's all coming.
Orange ghost
Well,
stripe.
It's all coming. We
That's
got
why I
loads
did
coming.
that breeding again. Orange glow. Hopefully to hit orange glow Motley.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yep.
I didn't hit last year. Missed
Any
out.
more
on
questions, everybody?
Anybody got any questions in there?
If not, we'll go to the lowest list.
Yep. We're running
We're
running a little thin, but we're gonna keep
They were having some fun. What's the time like, Am? Do you know?
Doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
Right an hour.
Right now?
Oh,
Pretty
we're
good.
good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we only plan to go 6. So
All
we're
right.
good.
I know we love retics. It's what we love. But besides retics, what are some other things you're keeping snake-wise? I know you're big into monitors, but what's kind of some stuff you may have showcased a little bit, but you'd like to talk about?
I'll start, I guess. I got some Senzinia going, a few more pythons.
Say that again.
Senzinia,
Boas?
Boas.
Boas are sweet.
What? I don't
blackheads,
Oh yeah.
Timors, and
Timor are sick.
I love those.
That one what Daniel did with them with the
Yeah.
hybrids.
Hybrids.
They look so much like a retic too.
They were great. Yeah, they look awesome.
What I mentioned.
We can.
Cat eyes.
Cat eyes.
What are cat eyes?
Boega dendrophilia.
Boegas.
Oh,
What's cat
we're
eyes?
getting.
The mangroves.
This is
Oh,
English,
mango.
English only.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Those are pretty.
All right, what about Jim?
Me, man, the sky's the limit here because I actually love everything. You know,
Good talk.
that's the problem.
There you go. Next.
That's
Next.
the problem.
Next.
That's the problem with me because I tell you, I can look at the ball pythons. I go from the ball.
And
pythons.
what's the favorite? He ain't gonna answer.
The favorites are monitors.
Okay.
We've
Which-
got-
So
Monitor.
tell little people about.
I'm a
which
lace
guy?
guy. I'm a lace
Nah, you
monitor.
can tell them about everything you got.
Dude, we got.
We ain't got that kind of time. He's got a lot of monitors.
Tell them about the corn snakes.
Tons.
He's got a lot of monitors.
It's got 50
Uh,
different monitors.
He's got us hooked on monitors and we don't even
You
own
gotta
our
tell them the
monitors.
corn snakes though.
Huh?
You gotta tell them about the corn snakes.
You gotta watch some corn snakes. You gotta watch
Come
some
on.
corn snakes.
That, I thought that was the food.
porn snakes.
Porn snakes?
Oh,
No, we don't want the one-eyed porn snakes. Bring them
All
up.
right.
Cut.
Cut.
You're gonna kick us off YouTube, man. You can't talk like that.
All right,
man.
Nick.
Can't take you nowhere.
What do you got? Oh, you already answered. Cat eyes.
No,
That's
I
it.
do a lot of monitors, assorted monitors.
No, you got a
What's
nice
your
pair
favorite
or
one?
something.
I like the croc monitors. We have a trio of lace monitors. We have black dragon pair, not pair, 2 females.
Better than 2 males, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Keith is the guy that got the.
And then Keith set it off. What do you like? What's your side gig? What's your favorites coming up besides retics?
Besides retics, well, there's 2. If I could get Aldabras to breed, I would do those. Galapagos would be my favorite. If somebody wants to help me with the Galapagos, I would like to have Galapagos. But other than that, I love blackheads, but I really want the pied berms. So I got that. So pied berms, albino pied berms. So I got those combos. Haven't made them. So I'm excited about that. But if I was going to say other than a snake, the Aldabras are by far one of my favorite animals.
For sure.
Cool animals. I got a whole field. It's just
It's unique when you go to your snake store, your snake shop, and you have a garage door where the Dabra goes in and out of the garage door.
No.
Where my mower goes in and out of the garage door.
Here's a funny story. I think it's the first, maybe the second time I ever went to Keith's house. And I had no clue, you know, I come to meet Keith. Keith's the big bad man, and, you know, Batman, he's Batman, I was Robin, I was coming in there, and I was like, so we get there, and dude, his ass has got a shirt off, shorts, he's running down the backyard. I walk in,
typical.
hey, and he's sprinting across the whole back, and dude, he's got like 20 plus acres. I mean, it's a long ass sprint.
It's a long run.
Yeah, and I'm more like,
Oh, you're.
it's 100 degrees outside. It's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
You ain't running that
And
far.
I think Gavin and them was with
Yeah,
us.
they were all there too.
So we all showing up, and dude, his ass is shooting off across the backyard. Like, what the hell is he doing? What the hell is he doing?
In a marathon.
Dude, and he's flying. He picks up his 100-pound turtle. Dude, I'm shitting. Dude, he picks it up. They done got out. They got out of the pen. There were what, 5 of them? 5
I
of them?
left the gate open. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 turtles
Yeah, he's
running
got
loose
like
on 22
12
acres.
acres.
And he's got chases out with a 4-wheeler, trying to find these turtles.
They're somewhere money.
He's there, and dude, it's killing me. So now I'm looking for turtles. You know, and I'm like, where the hell's a turtle? These are big ass turtles. They ain't no little baby turtles. He's got what the hell? They're all over 100 pounds most. So we're there. He picks this big old turtle up, and he's carrying it back happier because he found one. So he gets the one. Boom. We found it. We get her in. And I think we found 2 more later on. But the funniest thing is we're driving, we're going to a wine tasting place or something. It's wine. I don't drink wine. I don't even know what wine's about, you know. But I was like, well, I guess we're going to drink hot wine, and it was hot wine. They didn't have it.
Hot wine.
Oh, it was hot wine. So anyways, we're going to
Christian's back. He's looking.
His wife is not really the reptile nut, you know, like not like us, but she's there for Keith. But dude, no, you don't understand. We're driving down.
You ever seen the movie or the show $6 Million Man?
This is the first time I met. This is the first time I met Kristen. We're driving down from her house down their street. Dude, the car's running. She opens the door, jumps out while the car's running, and now her ass is sprinting because she done seen a turtle in somebody else's backyard, and she done grabs a turtle. And I'm like, I'm liking these thing balls.
She was running. She was running like the tortoise was going 100 miles an hour.
Dude,
Y'all keep them out.
Turtle mode.
I got you, turtles.
Turtle mode.
Turtle through this. And dude, this girl was ripping. Like she was chasing the gazelle. She was going for the gazelle. Right, boom. And dude, the car didn't even stop.
She landed on it, tackled it. She landed.
That's the first story of me and Keith. That's why I'm like, man, I know I love these guys. This is my.
She did see it, and we did get it, and we
ended up getting them all back.
We got them all back
that weekend.
How many was it total?
5 total at that time.
Seemed like Amanda found
one of them. Chase was riding around for a while, and then I got on my quad, and I just started circling the field where the hay was 3-4.
But these are out that
You're lucky they're
These are out that
Well, and my thought was,
What did they run in the 40?
no matter what,
not fast.
even if I bump into it, at least I found her. So I kept going around in circles until I ran over every piece of hay. And I hate to say it, but she was fine, but I found her.
You can't say that.
Tripping out your
I didn't hurt it. I didn't hurt it.
Got another question in.
Uh-oh.
Do you believe some more
Yeah.
are Facebook cut off or still live on YouTube?
It's back.
Platinums were one of those mornings where they used to come up freaking like crazy.
Yeah.
Now,
Is there? I don't think it's a morph. I think it's wildcaught /
yeah.
F1, F2,
Exactly.
F3.
Once you get
Fresher
farther
blood.
down.
I got my first pied from Bob, which would be his was F1, mine be the F2.
Ties were one of the ones that had that rep.
And I had one of the first ones,
Yeah.
and man, it was tough.
But she tamed down.
She did tame down, but now I've got sisters and siblings, and so
Oh yeah.
I brought you 2 today. I didn't think twice about picking them up.
Pie's actually a prime example of it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the original one that Bob and them brought in, it took a while before the sucker started to actually.
Yeah.
Now you had
So
pies.
So I bought one of his original
Yeah,
first
they're
not
babies,
bad.
and I can't imagine what his wild caught would be like or whatever those were. However,
Yeah.
that
It's-
first one was not too.
I mean, you can go.
I did
remember.
The what?
Our first one.
Could have had the Wildcats that
I had
were.
that for myself.
Your Mocha would be an example of that. I
That's
don't know what
a
she was
prime
like.
example.
Yeah.
Some of the
Yeah,
Wildcats
he was
came in might have been nice.
The
or-
original, he was the wild,
So I had to get a male, yeah. So now there's not a Machino that any of us have, which all, by the way, would stem from that animal, just like albino berms that stem from some Bob. You know, it is what it is. And they mellow out, they tame down, and that's Nick. I'm sorry, I keep pulling everything. He's like a magnet, just
yes to that answer.
So
Oh, he's trying to
yeah.
cut the tighten off. He's trying to cut the tighten
But
off.
I don't think it's a morph. I think it's a generation.
Yeah, sure.
Well, and with that being said, and I gotta ask this question. You know the marble. You remember the marble head anthrax I bought from you guys a couple years ago?
Yeah.
What what was that? Was that that's got to be the first, second, third generation off of marble?
No, you got the visual marble one.
Yeah, it was a visual marble head anthrax.
Because I made the original, the marble head and the original heads.
Well, and the reason why I asked, because the babies, like the marbles that come off, they're insane. They come flying at
The
you.
little suckers.
Yeah, are they like first, second,
You
third
know, you
generation?
know what you got to do?
I just hold them. I calm them down. I ain't worried about it.
No, no,
Look at his arms.
You got to burp them.
Look at Jim's arms. If you can see
gotta
them,
burp 'em,
he
Jim.
burps everything. You don't want to see his chest.
How did you not burp them?
No, you do. Sometimes if they get too much. If they take the rat down too fast, you gotta burp them.
So to answer the question, it's not a morph. I think it's a genetic,
Yeah.
From
a
the
generation.
wild
Yeah,
caught.
generation.
Yeah.
The fresher.
The more you go into the genetics,
The newer the morph, like an ocelot or a hypo or whichever that they're going to be.
The lower F class.
But the good news is the pies have come down. They've calmed down 1,000. It's a whole nother deal now.
None of the
First
babies
came
I
out,
have
they
never
were
had an issue.
Mine are sweethearts. Yep.
Man.
Good
What else?
question. Good
Who
question. Who
else?
asked that
That's
question?
Xavier is.
Good question.
Go, Xavier.
We got any
Another one,
questions?
Zay. Bring another one in.
Sup. Everybody saying what's up.
Here, ship him a beer. Ship him a beer.
Free shipping on the
Yeah, free shipping on a beer for asking a great question.
On Jim.
Yeah.
He is awesome. He
Yeah.
is cool.
Alright, what else we got? Any questions there? What we got there?
That's really it, man. That's and then we'll just jump into the Black Knight.
Oh.
There's no us. There's no us jumping into it. I think that's.
Well,
No, I mean because we're gonna hear it.
All right, the Black Knight.
The Black Knight. If you haven't seen the Black
Take
Knight,
your shirt off. Take your shirt off.
unfortunately,
Let's go. Let's get this going.
unfortunately, we couldn't bring one here with us. It was in deep in shed, so
Never-
just
it
didn't
never
do
works
justice.
out.
No, it doesn't.
So cold weather, blah.
But we're gonna hear.
well, the Black Knight. Everybody's been asking me about the outfit for 2 years now.
Hold on. Everybody got it? Alright, Black Knight. Go.
Yeah, that's everybody's been asking me for that for like I'm gonna say the last 2 years now. But basically it's 4 genetics for sure, possibly a 5th genetic in there.
Yeah.
But basically it's Golden Child, Motley, Phantom, Anthrax, and I'm still trying to figure out the anery part. And the Anthrax part is basically what I think what's making it so dark and almost just jet black is the poison ivy line of the Anthrax, not just like any Anthrax. The mom to these animals, I'm not gonna name the breeder I got him from, but you used to work with these animals exclusively with the Anthrax from all that poison ivy stuff. So I'm thinking that those genetics combine with the poison ivy, and then the gene that I'm still not sure that I got eggs cooking now should be another 25, 30 days out. Once I cut these eggs, I should have a lot better idea as far as if aneries that play it out with making them so dark like that.
Yeah.
So I'll know a little bit more once I cut this second clutch from basically the same exact pairing.
So for people that don't understand, the poison ivy that stemmed off some of their original.
That was the
Nerds.
original calico. I think it was a
Original,
calico normal, wasn't it?
Anthrax stuff.
Anthrax.
Calico,
Yeah.
And they're real. I mean, they're real dark. They're like real dark because some anthraxes are real light gray colored.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, most of them are now that you see nowadays are really light. But the ones from that specific line tend to be really dark. So I don't know. I think that line of anthrax combining with with those 4 genetics is what's making it so dark. Like the only gene that I'm not 100% sure on is the anery. I don't see if or.
Have you tried any breedings to try it without the poison ivy line to see if that still produces a black snake?
Once probably for next season, I'm gonna figure that out.
Okay.
That part a little more.
So the eggs that you have now, will they anery be in there, head anery, or you'll have anery in there?
Well, it's basically the same breeding that I did 2 years ago. Was like year to year out. So yeah, it'll be just the same breeding.
So you could have the same 4 plus 100%, or they would be anery.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Thinking about holding everything back, or you?
well, I'm not
Release
sure.
anything to
I
a
mean, I got
72 babies is tough. She laid a lot of eggs.
Yeah, true.
I gave her the year off, so there should be a few babies there. But those are the ones that are called that are named the black knights just because of how dark they are. But
It's a lot of genetics.
I had done a breeding before that. I think me and Chris McVicker talked about this at the Arlington show, and that was different genetics and different route that I took for it. And on that particular animal, she's really dark, except for she has the more of a brown out head on her. But those are like same genetics, but this is with the visual titanium. The Golden Child Motley titanium, which made it really dark. But if she would have had the black eyes with the dark head, it would have been damn near as dark as that Black Knight. It's a different.
With pos hogs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, just throw in
Pos
that
hogs.
with the
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But that's why I kind of didn't really say too much about because I'm still kind of learning myself.
black coming out.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
That was jet black.
So he
coming
was
out.
asking the tongue of mine. Mine, everything's black. The tongue, the belly, everything. Yeah. Even the mouth.
That's
The
a
mouth.
That's black.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
an
yeah,
air
it's on the mouth.
Everything.
For the IMG boas is solid black.
IMG Motley is solid, yeah.
Yep.
So
I mean, a black snake. I mean,
What's the hemipines?
The big
Black.
snake.
Oh, so they're a little bit longer?
Jet black
Oh,
snake.
sorry, I had to go.
Get this wrapped
I
up.
had to go.
by the way,
Alright.
mine's a female.
Check,
So I don't know.
No more drinks for you.
He's cut off.
I'm sorry.
And it's empty, I can hear it.
We were black labeled on that one.
Just remember the most important thing to take out of this, guys, is that let's support U.S. Art. Let's
Yes.
stay behind them, and let's
Yeah,
keep
absolutely.
the pedal on the metal.
There's a comment on there saying you all were talking about the USARC membership to tell people to get their wives, their family members. The more
Yeah,
memberships, the
dogs.
better.
Family, friends.
Donations is key, and
Like we're
Sal mentioned it. I'll reiterate it 15 times because I never even thought about it
It's so
once.
important.
Membership, just like I was telling Noah a little while ago, hey, I donated to U.S. Art, and 2 weeks later my membership was due. Big difference between the donation and the membership. So I donated, and then I had to do the membership, but membership.
Yeah.
Most
Membership.
important.
And
Most
donate.
important.
Membership, donate.
Well, membership
Membership
is
makes
also
the
part of
numbers.
a
The
donation.
membership, when they go up to fight for us, they go up to the system, you know, the court system, whatever, and they're gonna say, well, we're representing 500,000 members. So they're gonna look at that, they're gonna say, oh wow,
Yeah.
let's take this
All
you
from
know,
all around
If they
the
come
world.
up there and they say, well, how many people do you represent? 200. They're gonna be like, you know, it's
Yeah.
that important.
And
to be a
everybody
member.
think about that. It's
And
not
donate, but you gotta be a member.
200, 500, 500,000. There are so many ball pythons, so many retics, so many
Everything.
boas,
It's-
everything. I don't care. Bull snakes, isopods, blackheads. You should be a membership, and there should be well over a couple million people in that.
Just
membership.
All
imagine
day
like,
long.
if we were to get everybody that's got a reptile, no matter what it is, and everybody
A
that
bird,
owns
a
one,
fish, anything.
if everybody
Or
else
meat.
just donated like $10,
What I would love to see,
the math on that would be
Huge.
what I would love to see is,
crazy.
in order to enter some of these big reptile shows, you have to be a U.S. Art member. I would love to see that, and I
That would
would
be
back
nice.
that up 100%.
Really? You know
Because
what?
I wouldn't say to enter, but to vend it.
No, I think the enter.
No,
Vended, I'd say for sure.
I think if
Vended
you're going
for
in,
sure.
Vended for
you're
sure.
looking at a zoo, you're looking at a pet,
Yeah.
you're all included into the
Yeah.
membership that you need.
Yeah.
I would be fine
all
with the vending
need
part
to protect
because a
our-
lot of people just
our-
buying their first reptile. They don't even know nothing.
Yeah,
about
I would.
it.
Yeah, you can't make that. But it says retic roundtable because we're all retic
But
people.
it's all reptiles. It's
But we
all-
have turtles, we have monitors, we have boas, we have ball pythons, we have all that stuff. This is our mainstay, but the membership, and again, it's this didn't even come to light to me until Sal said it at lunch. Membership.
It's the key.
Yeah, it's
We all
not-
members.
I just think of
It,
it.
it,
all
it,
members.
makes you strong. It makes you as an organization. it
We
makes-
won't be able to
It makes
continue
it something
on
to fight
with
for us
what we
with.
love
Yeah, the numbers.
if we can't keep this stuff.
Remember, without U.S. Art, none of this is possible.
Yeah. They fight for our rights. It says it right here. They've taken the Lacey Act, I can't remember, was it 2009, 10, 12, whatever it was. They took the Lacey Act, which banned a lot of these animals. They reversed it. Now you know it's in Congress. It's been passed by one portion. Can't remember which. Doesn't matter. That they're trying to ban these animals. And I'm not talking about retics. They're talking about everything except farm animals, dogs, and
They wanna put
cats. Is
everything
what
on
I
the chopping
understand.
block.
They're trying to ban them. And we all are responsible pet owners. We need to do our part. We need to be involved. We need to be membership. And that's why Sal and Nick made the drive to get here.
It's worth the drive.
A lot longer than my drive to get here to do this. And appreciate you guys coming down.
Yes.
It's not like you're, but this
It'll be fun.
this
Thank you for
Retic
having us.
roundtable was
It'll be fun.
was part of our conversation in Arlington. And this is no downplay on anybody else. It just happened to be the five of us having a few beverages watching the Super Bowl. Thank you, Nick, for the long drive home. We were supposed to be leaving that night without drinking. So, anyways, I can't reiterate enough because it was came to light.
Perfect.
Sure.
But the good news is we got another show coming up.
Yep, Tinley.
And this is going to be, now guys, we've got 3 logos here, but we've got a round table. So that means we have more room for the breeders around the table.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Tinley, we're
Breeders,
going to try to push a show.
breeders,
at Tinley.
collectors, lovers. Eventually, if we could have the whole cover.
Hopefully we're gonna need
Done.
a gigantic table.
Yeah.
Yep, we're gonna need a big one.
We'll do one at Tinley probably. We don't know who
Maybe
all's
we'll
going
do
to
one
be in
Saturday
there.
after the end of the show.
We're
We're
gonna-
gonna go back to the hotel room or something, do one.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure out,
Yeah,
maybe get
yeah.
some other people on and you know, sit down.
There's a lot of people that
have some time to
that
talk.
we get to bring it in. We get to bring it in. And you know, we all have a good time at the shows. We get to go eat, you know, at the shows, and we all the breeders come together, and we get to have some fun. But we need to share that table with everybody. You know what I mean? Because
We'll figure
really, we
something.
are all family, and it's going to take all of us
It's gonna
to
take
fight this.
everybody together to get it
To
done.
fight this.
We'll
Yeah.
figure something to do for US ARC, just for the Retic Roundtable, and obviously we'll all pitch in and figure something to do
We
along
got
the lines.
2 weeks to brainstorm.
Yeah,
it,
we'll
so
brainstorm
frame
something and we'll make
brainstorm
something
and figure it
happen.
out.
So we're gonna go ahead and end this
Exciting,
one.
exciting, guys.
And this was fun.
Thank
We
you,
had a
Nick.
great
It
time.
was
Thanks
awesome.
for having us.
Great time.
Yeah.
Great time, Keith.
So
It's not about Retics, it's about getting it done.
Yep.
we will.
Enjoy your retics and your babies, your cold bloods. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
And your warm bloods.
We need warm blood.